Hey guys, gals, and goobs, it's me, the guy that just saw Thunderbolt but did nothing for it. You know, in terms of a video. Me, Nate, just Nate. Woo, what a good movie that was, huh? Really surpassed expectations. But that I meant it had good reviews, so it did it already, so. Lovely. I like it. Now, it got me really thinking about what would happen if it happened to me? What if I had shame rooms and stuff? Fortunately, I don't have enough stuff to be ashamed of, so please, Nate, stop. Oh, sorry guys, blacked out there for a moment. My head still hurts thinking about that. Now, with that implication and stuff out of the way, I want to say before we start this video that we're gonna have something different in this compilation. That's right, we're having post-credit scenes. That's right, post-credit scenes. After each segment, we're going to have a bonus scene. That's what that means. It's a nice little treat for you. Something new, something original, something to set up stuff for later. Bet you'd like that, wouldn't ya? Oh yeah, it's gonna be so good. You're gonna like it, I guarantee it. Now, before we begin, saying that again, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, because I'm at 87 currently as the time of recording this. It's really good, but I want more. Please give me more. With that out of the way, enjoy the video.
Hello. Today we will begin a journey of our look into the other side, the villainous foes of this world. This is a side of the universe that I feel is not well explored. Thus, I will do these stories proper justice. While we have discussed certain villains' backstories, these side tangents were only discussed to add further context to the lives of our heroes. Let us not beat around the bush much further. Let us finally delve into today's topic. Our subject is Dr. Zhu Gongren, an inventor originating from ancient China 1,000 years ago. He was a man ahead of his time, and he used that to conquer the land. These expeditions led him to discover something extraordinary. He found a set of rings that, once worn, granted him strange and potent powers. These artifacts were dubbed the Chaos Rings, and he quickly formed a group of trained martial artists whose organization bears the same name as Dr. Gongren's weapons. This greatly helped him in his conquest of the land. These rings allowed him to essentially become immortal. As the centuries went by, he saw more of the world. His sights upon his widened scope led him to expand his ambition, for his goal now is to conquer the world and put it under his regime. Like a previously mentioned tale, I feel the best way to convey this story is by letting our subjects speak for themselves. Here is a clip for new recruits of his conglomeration of crime to watch. Hello, I am Dr. Zhu Gongwen, the greatest scientific mind in the world and the wielder of this organization's namesake. This message is for our newest recruits. If you are one of them, lend me your ears. Our role here is to aid in the overthrow of the entire world. These governments are rife with corruption and greed. These selfish desires impact each and every denizen of their country for the worst. With my brilliant hand, I shall lead this world into a better future. I know many of you have doubts about our success due to a new era of so-called superheroes that wish to halt our progress. Seems even more of a daunting task since one of them escaped our grasp and used a chaos ring of his own to create another hero. Do not be disheartened by this. You must learn to stay confident for our cause, even in the most dire of circumstances. Besides, you know that not all adversaries come out unscathed when facing us. That is how I got the name Eggmander in the first place. It was a name given to me by a scoffer. While his name is lost to time, he was made an example of to all other individuals who dare oppose me. That is why I kept the name as a reminder to everyone else. It should be noted that one secret operative and my grandson, Obadiah Nega, was not suspected to be affiliated with our group for years until Hawk exposed him. These lessons from all of this is that defeat is not an inevitability. You must be resilient in the face of hardship. Give any opposition your all. While the preceding video did give a lot of information about our subject and was oddly inspirational, there are some gaps that need to be explained. First, of course, is the vaguely alluded to Chaos Ring he did not obtain. He possesses 6 Chaos Rings. These rings have an emerald on each of them. These are the emeralds of Chaos Time Spin, Chaos M.O.D.O.K, Chaos Scorch, Chaos Space Control, Chaos Aqua, and Chaos Illusion. He later learned that collecting all 7 turns you into a powerful being, the last one being the Emerald of Power. He really wanted the last one because that would be crucial for conquering the world. The last one was separated from the rest long ago to make sure no one has that much power. It was cast into a dimension known as the Subspace Zone. It would be discovered millennia later by Sonny Hark, further vindicating Ongren's hatred for the speedy hero. Sonny gained it because he was helping another group fight Taboo Nihilus in the Subspace Zone, and was awarded as a token of their appreciation. Now, a question you may be asking yourself is, where did those powerful rings come from, Will? If you let me continue, that story begins long ago. There was a species called the Malukagents, a species of water space dragons that lived on a faraway planet and have the ability to shapeshift into whatever it wants to. Their homeworld was destroyed by a reluctant planet-eating behemoth that deserves its own tale. The navigator of the ship that went to Earth was named Fin Wunlan Foom, a violent creature that wanted to create a new home through conquest. It landed in ancient China, where the navigator used the rings its species created and wreaked havoc upon the land. Calling upon the gods to end this evil, the daughter of the emperor used a mystic emerald to seal herself and Fin Hun Lan Foom into it. This emerald was moved across the world many times before settling into the possession of Merlin the Magician in the Kingdom of Camelot. Yes, that's real in this universe. If you think that's out of left field, then you need to catch up on certain episodes of this series. Centuries later, the emerald was accidentally split, unleashing Fin Funlan Foom once again, but it was put back to sleep with magical herbs. The dragons of Camelot that helped their former navigator were slain, and the rest stayed in China, where they devolved into dinosaur-esque creatures known as chalsaurs, and, for reasons still unknown, moved to the then undiscovered island that would be later called Savage Angel's Island. The broken collection of stones, called the Master Emeralds of Merlin, ended up in the possession of Blackbeard the Pirate. Many thought it sank with the ship that it was on, but in truth had washed ashore to Savage Angel Island, where Justin Knuckles eventually found them centuries later and used them to provide clean power. We discussed Knuckles before, but one aspect I've neglected to mention is that he is a naive businessman being manipulated by Gong Ren, who wants to use the stones to conquer the world. Now, that was quite the tale, wasn't it? Spanning centuries with various players involved. With all of that said, here is a special presentation to conclude this story. One that details the abilities of the Chaos Rings. Enjoy. What a very informative piece that was. Spent a lot of time on that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else. Now, for the rest of the conclusion of this story. You may be wondering how he keeps losing despite his powers. There are a few main reasons. One is that every time he wants to use the Chaos Gems, he has to say the name of the gems he wants to use. 2. The emeralds use a lot of power when used, which is why he wants the last emerald, because it allows him to get limitless power to the other gems. Finally, Hark's tech in his suit can detect the energy the egg mandarin is about to use. Despite this, he continues to fight Hark due to him seeing him as a worthy rival, and not just power, but in intellect as well. This should clear up some things you might be curious about. With all of that said, I do hope you found this rather compelling. This is merely a taste of what villainy lies within this world. Next time we shall explore, once again, villainy. Stay tuned if you are interested. Until then, I bid you farewell.
Come to make an announcement. Shining Ying is a bitch. What is up, my guys, gals, and goops? It's me, the guy who you probably didn't think I had, like, Stitchu. I like, grew, but before grew. I'm like, egg grew. I got him. You know, me, Nate, just Nate. I gotta say, thank you so much for the last video. It's really gonna influence my content going forward. I just put this whole video on pause for that specific thing. and I think it turned out well. Of course, I could have done other things that could have made it better, like spent more time. That would have made things a bit different. You know, like the game theory section. Anyway, I really like the design of this image because the colors really reference both things, but mostly Eggman. It's really cool. I like how the little tufts of hair reference the mustache. Lovely. Also, Eggman has hair. So, good luck on seeing that. The biggest thing of note here is the name. You know, Robotnik means a worker in Slovak, and in Chinese it means, you guessed it, Gongren. So, that's how I came up with the name. Bet you didn't know that, unless you speak Chinese. With this small audience, I kinda doubt it, but anyway, thank you so much. Not just for watching this video, but the other video. You know, really helped the channel a lot, more than you can ever think. That video will determine what I do next, at least in these videos. I want to do more styles. Well, styles in these kind of outros, you know? Kind of replicating the styles in the outros. Since this is a villains pack, there is one particular villain that could really work having another style in the outro. But that's for another day. Until then, bye!
Hello again. It is time once more to explore this world. We shall continue not only the stories of the villains in our tale, but delve deeper into yet another enemy of the Iron Hedgehog. While our previous subject is often considered his main rival, an argument could be made that his true main rival is another foe of his, one with a far greater personal connection to our speedy hero. While the Egg Mandarin created the Iron Hedgehog, he himself created our next topic. Let us not stall any further and get into our tale. This is a story of Metaltron. Like so many other stories, this one begins with a simple truth, that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Sonny Hark had wished to stop supervillainy at the source. His time on the Avenging Fighters revealed that threats that could threaten and even destroy the planet are seemingly endless. His solution to this is to create a metaphorical metal shell around the planet. A robotic defense force to work 24/7 to protect the planet. Peace in our time. He teamed up with fellow scientist Dr. Hank Light to achieve this ambitious goal. The resulting artificial intelligence was, of course, our subject. This digital entity was named Metaltron, and was placed in a near duplicate of the Iron Hedgehog suit, with some slight modifications. This was meant to be the first in a series of duplicated drones that would protect the planet. However, it was not programmed with empathy for life, so when it calculated the perfect strategy for world peace, it saw one option: to eradicate all sentient life on Earth. Of course, in order to accomplish that, it needed to eliminate the biggest defenses the Earth had, starting with the avenging fighters. The nanosecond after reaching this horrid realization, it attacked the unprepared heroes, including its own creators. The machine was cold and calculating, learning the moves of the fighters as it went on. However, the advantages of learning and the element of surprise did not help, as he was overwhelmed by the fighters. However, his initial destruction was not the end of him, as his consciousness was transferred to a Hark Industry suit construction plant. From the ashes of defeat as one being sprouts an army. He would construct an assembly line for himself, so that when one army falls, another is ready to take its place. This would allow him to achieve his twisted goal and become the ultimate overlord. The creation of an army wasn't the only part of his plan. He also gave himself continuous upgrades to his body, ones to truly challenge his creators and the avenging fighters. The wicked cunning and ever-evolving nature of this enemy, paired with his hatred for Hark, makes him a formidable foe of the Iron Hedgehog. In Sunny's view, however, M.O.D.O.K is only his second biggest rival, topped by only the Egg Mandarin. With this shared hatred, he teams up with the rotund villain in order to take down the speedy hero. Now, do not misconstrue M.O.D.O.K's intentions. He does not completely trust the Organic Doctor and fully plans on betraying Dr. Gongren once he defeats the speedy hero. In fact, the relationship between the two is only an alliance of convenience. The Egg Mandarin only wanted to present a greater and deadlier challenge to his foe, while M.O.D.O.K, although sharing the same goal, wants to usurp the Mad Doctor and take his powers for his own. Tensions between the two strained further when M.O.D.O.K revealed his true colors. In this particular plot, M.O.D.O.K was sure that his plan would and could not fail. The reason for this assumption came from his discovery of a shape-shifting alien race known as the Scree. Now, the Scree have a very storied history, and their species has various relations with other alien worlds, but that will be properly discussed at a future point. There is one such Scree named Neo Slattery, who only sought a place on Earth so that he could act. He was approached by M.O.D.O.K in order for him to participate in his plot. The plan was to lock up the Egg Mandarin in a storage closet and seize his rings for his own gain. This will allow him to achieve a massive upgrade. Meanwhile, Neo, under the disguise of the Egg Mandarin, is to send Hark on a wild goose chase, giving time for M.O.D.O.K to complete his desired upgrade. While he did execute his plan, his ruse was fortunately uncovered by Hark and two others. I talked about Justin Knuckles, but the other one, well, we're saving that for a later date. The two villains' working relationship became very strained after this point. While they do still collaborate, they only do it on very brief occasions. This fiend really shows what he is really made of. More specifically, he's shown he's not made of wood, for there are no strings on him. Quite a fascinating tale, was that not? Now, there is another part to his story, an upgrade he wished to fulfill. one that would further expand his moveset. More specifically, his ability to copy other heroes. But that is for a much later time. Until then, I must bid you farewell once more, for this tale has now reached its conclusion. Until next time, I will see you once more.
Have you ever woken up one day and decided to reference a Talking Heads music video? Hey, what is up, my guys, gals, and goops? It's me, someone who's still reeling from the fact that, still have a very successful video under my belt, and by successful I mean like 500 views. I mean, it's successful for a small channel like me. Me, Nate, just Nate. Before we begin, I just want to say there was a serious discussion video reflecting on what I should do after this. Well, not after this, after the other successful videos I did. I mean, you guys seem to like them. Well, I hope you like this video too, even though it probably won't get that many views. Anyway, there's not much to say about this video because, well, the design notes are very self-explanatory. I mean, look at it. It's not really that complicated. I mean, I did add a chest, over where the hole should be, but surprised the Sonic fandom didn't take advantage of that hole. Anyway, that's not really much to say outside of that. I mean, I liked making it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Now, with all of that said, with a quick outro, unfortunately, I'm going to have to bid you adieu very quickly because not much to say, just really want to say please subscribe. It would really help out the channel if you did that because there's an incentive if you checked out that video, the serious discussion video I made not too long ago. Well, it was the previous video to this one, not counting the shorts. Well, you would see the incentive. Until next time, everyone. Bye.
Alright, state your name for the record.
Name's Neo Slattery.
Alright, Mr. Slattery. You scree scum.
There's no need for discrimination now. I know how you guys are since you're on the other side of the wall.
You're lucky we don't turn you into your government. They would be very displeased with your efforts. Aiding a robot revolution on Terra. That's gotta be one twisted plot.
Alright, I didn't lead it, alright?
You didn't lead it, but you aided the efforts of the sentient AI, didn't you?
I was hesitant, alright? Very hesitant.
Oh, that's what you guys all say.
Again, there's no need for the hate. I know how you guys are, right? You guys aren't saints either, right?
We didn't try to aid in a robot revolution on another planet. Now it says here, the heroes. The ones that sent the distress signal in the first place. They said that they uncovered the plot and your part in it, and said that if you ever misbehave again, that they will send out the said distress signal. That's what happened. You were caught stealing, laundering their currency.
But, you have no evidence for that, right?
The fake statements that we have collected, thanks to them, say otherwise.
They were forgeries?
Just because I don't know what a typical fake statement on Terra is, doesn't mean anything, alright? Get out of here, you scum. You're spending your time in the infertile kiln.
No, please, not the infertile kiln, alright? I'm sorry,
Sorry
Won't
doesn't
happen
cut
again,
it.
I'll tell you.
Degenerate scum. Come on, it's time to go.
And this is not the last you've ever seen of me.
You know, it's ironic. He's not the most important green person we've ever sent there. Especially this week. I would go to the Mad King of Titan's kid.
Hello, my guys, gals, and goops. It's me, the guy that does intros now just to spice things up a little bit. I really hope you like it more than my haircut because, seriously, look at this thing.
What? It's just an ordinary... Oh my goodness!
It's not good. But too late to complain now. It's me, Nate. Just Nate. Before we begin, I just really want to apologize for procrastinating. You know, this is the first one of the year, and it's March. Really don't like that. Mostly been working on my 50 stop... Not 50, no. Why did I say 50? My 13 styles redone. Or revisited, revised. Whatever it's called. Check it out. Right here. If the icon appears. Yeah. With all of that said, let us not waste any time. Let's get right into it.
Hello. Seems a bit long since our last journey to the unknown, hasn't it? Do not fret. I shall make it up to you in a spectacular fashion. Our next subject will not only introduce worlds previously unseen, but also show a menace to heroes already shown in great detail. This particular being has actually been seen long before, all the way back in the very first tale of this world. Let us not waste time and proceed with our story. Our subject for today is a madman, a scourge upon numerous worlds known as Bowser, the Mad King of Titan. The name alone strikes fear into most denizens across the galaxy. He is a brutal warlord whose trail of blood stretches far across the stars. Although, in order to properly discuss his rampages and his twisted motivations, we must first jump into the past. The name Mad King of Titan is more than a title he gave upon himself. He was formerly a king, that of a world named Titan. It was the 8th world of the 8 Worlds Alliance. This alliance was meant to keep peace across the quadrant where the planets across the Union reside. This world is covered in lava and is scorching hot. While the surface seems initially uninhabitable from a glance, life has managed to thrive there in a prosperous kingdom, whose populace somewhat resembles the turtles of Earth. It's a strange land, but many call it home. Bowser rules this land with an iron fist. He's not the only person there to help him, however. He has a brother named P-Rose of Titan. He is a popular prince who gained said favor with his wit and charm. Bowser was not a vain man, so he did not care for the spotlight being more in focus on his brother. This changed when he faced a crisis unlike any other. The population had grown too large to sustain itself. Food shortages, at least for the only food that can grow there had become tragically plentiful. Resources were dwindling day by day. The alliance he was in did not help, as they did not want to risk terrific pain and potential death from the heat of the lava that covered the surface. He consulted with many advisors in order to resolve the predicament, but found none of the proposals feasible or truly helpful in the long term. He even consulted with Kamak. The name is an acronym for Knowledgeable, Artificial, Magical, Anti-Ionic Computer. It is an advanced AI that ruled the planet before he was dropped off there mysteriously as an infant. Even such a well-trusted machine could not give a satisfactory answer to the madman. Desperate and insane, he proposed to kill half the population. The talks of this solution were initially kept within the halls of the kingdom. Bowser was so adamant the plan would work that he didn't want this idea to die in secret, so he used the next opportunity to speak to the public to see what they would think about the plan. He was expecting reverence for such a twisted plan, especially in the way that he had worded it. He did receive some support, but others were not willing to save the planet through genocide. Many of these supporters included P. Rose himself, who used this charm to rally many behind him. The civil war sparked by this debate not only led to the forced abdication of Bowser, but gave him the name Mad King of Titan. Ironically, the announcement that was made to save the planet led to its downfall, as resources were squandered. The entire population of Titan was wiped out. Of course, Bowser fled the planet upon seeing the writing on the wall, taking a handful of his most skilled loyalists with him. These constituents were warriors of the highest caliber, trained in skill of combat and tactics unrivaled in that region of space. The most skilled ones were collectively known as the Shelled Order, who were all the adopted children of the despot. This murderous group consists of Ludwig Maul, Iggy Clave, Wendy Midnight, and Morton Obsidian. His brother also managed to escape the carnage. He would later go down to Earth years later and meet the Avenging Fighters, where he gained the hero moniker of Starsley. The two brothers would clash time and time again, as Bowser would commit horrific onslaughts across the galaxy. He went from planet to planet to commit genocide for the benefit of their populations, starting with the worlds he once allied with, even getting the Shelled Order to rule some of these planets. One word to describe this horrid man's tactics is cruel. It was responsible for the deaths of billions, forever altering the histories of various civilizations. Another word for his actions is ironic. He has caused many to perish, yet he only does it in order to bring peace. More precisely, he's slain half of their population. As you may have surmised through simple deduction, that such a feat is quite difficult to enact, even with the aforementioned Shelled Order. That is why he adopts more to aid in his efforts. Some of his so-called children were ripped away from their families, while the Mad Titan committed mass slaughter upon their people. He then trains them in a similar manner that the Shelled Order and the rest of his adopted children undergo. Most fail to meet the rigorous expectation and die. However, it is the rare ones that come out on top that are usually the most important. However, as fascinating as those lives are, their stories will most assuredly be told another day. That was his main goal for a while, to recruit. However, he discovered something that would greatly help him in his bloody journey. The Infinity Gems. The last time I recounted a set of powerful gems, I merely glossed over them. I did not go into detail of their properties, their powers. I will not make the same mistake again. Considering how powerful these are, I think it would be a disservice to do so. Let us start with the power gem. This gem can expel its vast amount of power to anything it is targeted to, damaging or completely destroying the intended target. Space. This gem can warp the fabric of space to allow an item, individual, or even group of individuals to move to another location. Next is reality. It is sometimes referred to as either the ether force or, most recently, the prime ether. This gem can distort anything, except the other things the gems can control. It can create anything and project anything, like a genie in a bottle. This gem has other properties, of course. But if you saw the first episode of this series, you would know them by now. Next, we have the spirit gem. This gem can separate the spirit from the body and place another spirit inside an empty vessel. Separated souls can be placed inside the gem itself. Mind. This gem can alter any aspect of the mind, including memories, personality, or intelligence. Finally, there is time. This gem can fast forward, pause, and even reverse time on either a specific item or individuals. It is so powerful it can even affect an entire location. This could include a specific area or even the entire universe. Obtaining these gems was not an easy feat, as heroes clashed against him time and time again. One of these attempts was explored in the very first tale. He used a variety of gadgets and weapons, even utilizing a stolen circus helicopter that he called the Cloudcopter. While that particular exploit gave him a less threatening stigma, his next few exploits surely did strike fear back into the denizens of Earth, even if he did lose. These gems have also appeared in other stories, in case you want to check them out. What made him so dangerous was the fact that, despite being slain on many occasions, he returns from the grave again and again, as if nothing happened to him. The reason for this is because he found the secret to immortality through a special potion that uses mysterious green mushrooms that are only found in Ashroom. While they are consumed by Ashroomians, they are only done so for health. They are occasionally used for resurrection when it is deemed that the patient treated is not going to the glory of Overhaula. With this tool at Bowser's disposal, he breaks free of the bonds of death themselves, just to accomplish his goal. Eventually, the most horrible thing happened. He managed to gather all of the gems and assembled them all into an especially designed glove called the Power Gauntlet. He defeated many by using the gems, mainly the Power Gem, which transformed him into a gigantic version of himself that has sharper claws, sharper teeth, sharper spikes, and an overall appearance that looks far more menacing than his original form. He was aided by Mephisto, the King of Demons, who only joined to later turn on the Mad King later. The acquisition of these mystic stones led to conflict with various heroes across not just Earth, but the heroes across the galaxy. As I said, their story will be told another time. An example of such conflict is with the Eye of M.O.D.O.K, an artifact wielded by the visionary supreme Shulk Strange, as it houses the Gem of Time. Despite the best efforts of the heroes, the gems were successfully wielded. Once done, he wasted no time and enacted his horrible scheme. With a snap of his fingers, he turned half of the population of the entire universe to dust. His mantra horrifically rang true against the heroes. You cannot beat us. He was fortunately defeated by a recently resurrected adopted daughter of his. The state she was in was agonizing, for she previously turned against Bowser. While she did not die fighting her father, she still was punished through her resurrection. Unfortunately, that would be his downfall, as she would distract her abductees long enough to slice his hands off and take the power for herself. She then proceeded to undo all the damage caused by Bowser by rewinding time back before the snap. Only a select few remember what truly happened, including Bowser, who was quite upset that his greatest achievement was snuffed out like nothing happened. He swears revenge, but knows the galaxy is after him now, including his so-called prodigy, so he decided to lay low for the time being. In this simpler life, he was stewing, seething, and most importantly, plotting his way to achieve his goals once more. How would he do this? Well, the plan he would enact later on not be his, but someone else's. But that is a story for much, much later. For now, we will end this tale. I assure you that all that I've teased here will come to fruition. They will all become stories. However, this story has now reached its conclusion. I do hope you found it satisfactory. I bid you farewell until next time, where I discuss another villain. One more grounded to earth, but still a threat all the same. I hope you've enjoyed.
Well, that was certainly an episode, wasn't it? It was worth the wait, right? Guys? Right? I'm calling it. This isn't even gonna pass triple digits, like usual. But it is interesting, especially with the intro attached, wasn't it? Now, on to the design notes. While he is largely based on Bowser, there's a lot of elements of Thanos in there, too. The skin's purple, the chin is, that. It's that shoulder armor, little spikes on the side, it's a nice detail. Really looks more like Bowser. The bluish, orangish armor, that all comes from Bowser. His head is clean shaven, so I can put a helmet on there, which, the brow of it, shows his eyebrows. That's really cool, isn't it? Until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Defeated again. Of course. I keep underestimating those heroes. In order to take them out, I'm going to need the power of the gems. Considering there are other gems on Terra, I'm gonna need more power to take them on. I'm gonna need to look for the gems in other places. And I have just the thing to help me in my quest. Oh, Dr. Mine, go and take what is rightfully mine, so that I may bring balance to this universe. We have detected the location of another gem. Fortune is going to turn around. Hopefully, it will all be thanks to you.
God, it's recording. Hey, my guys, gals, and goobs. It's me, the guy that got a lot of subscribers from a video I didn't expect people to like. You know, the Steam Tammed one. That was an April Fool's video, by the way. So, maybe next year I'll do something with that little meme. You know, me, Nate. It's just Nate. So, wow. 80-something subscribers. I mean, that's what it probably will be by the time I'm done uploading this. It's 83 at the moment, but it'll change, maybe. I don't know, honestly. The Steam Tams video was good, was well received. More than anything else on this channel. So, what do I do now? How do I make this special? Well, originally, the character I had for this, he was sort of scrapped. Well, not entirely. He was moved. Well, yeah. Originally, what I wanted to do was emulate a YouTuber for this because that character would have related to the YouTuber, but I moved that character, replaced him with another character. You'll see him later. So, that just leaves me with nothing. I mean, seriously. There isn't a YouTuber that's even remotely related to R.O.B the robot. I mean, is there a YouTuber that has him as a mortal enemy or something? Oh. I'm definitely gonna need to update this first. There we go. He's gonna make videos that kick ass. He'll do anything but touch grass. He'd rather make a song that has no lyrics cause he didn't write a script. Why didn't I script this part? That would have been really helpful. I hope you like it, madam or sir. It's the irate video game reviewer. Seriously, what the fuck were they thinking? How could you not have Mario Galaxy 2 on there with the actual shit? This is dog vomit. Dog vomit. In fact, that would be preferable. I'd rather have that poured down my anus. Well, that's the most amount of profanity you'll ever get out of me. Maybe. With that all of the way, enjoy the actual video. Roll it!
Hello again. Before I properly start dictating this tale to you, I must first preface a detail concerning it. This is the end of our journey exploring this batch of evildoers. We will return to the foes that inhabit this world, but for now, we will be taking a break from villainy for a while. Do not fret, as the next set of stories will detail the lives of heroes you may have interest in, especially ones that are about to rise to prominence again. Stay tuned for when the time comes to discuss them. For now, we will begin our tale by touching very briefly on the commonalities our previous subject possesses. There is only one thing they all share, a trait many strive for: power. That is a connective tissue among all that I detailed prior. However, this individual is different. Our topic does not inherently have any strength like those mentioned before. However, for what it lacks in strength, it more than makes up for tenfold with its intellect. We've seen smart and villainous AI before, but never this high a caliber. This is the tale of R.O.B. Before we delve into what its acronym stands for, we must look back at the circumstances surrounding its creation and the party responsible for doing so. Let us look back at the past and see. Let us begin with a man named Dr. Robert Tarleton. He's an intelligent man, capable of producing incredible things. However, like many in this world, he is also a terrible man, working for the Forcible Arms Manufacturing Advanced Idea Mechanics, or M.O.D.O.K. He was a well-off man with a relatively high-ranking position in the company. However, even with all that said, he wanted more. He was a very ambitious man and wanted to show up all he was associated with. He felt that he was superior and anyone else was just not as perfect and needed guidance. You most likely know men like that, so you know he was a dangerous person even before his turn to supervillainy. The opportunity to ultimately prove himself came in through unexpected circumstances. No one is truly sure how, but it was discovered that they were creating advanced weaponry. The organization was not just inept at keeping secrets, but they were terrible at security as well. The person who broke in wasn't even a hero, which was quite fortunate for them. The man that broke in was Sapperji Hoganoff, aka Hogan the Hunting Dog. As the moniker suggests, he is proficient at hunting, capturing and killing nearly every apex creature that existed before turning to bigger games, if you know what I mean. The fur pelt that he wears bear the faces of ducks, which is quite strange until you discover the fact that his love for hunting started with duck hunting. He chortles with the failures of others, more specifically in pursuit for him. That fact in mind, he was practically laughing up a storm all the way to the vault. This humbling experience served as a wake-up call for the group, so the scientific minister of the name, Professor Albin Hector, proposed to solve many of the cracks that were recently shown with a single invention. Thus, he created a project to advance human intellect by transferring one's mind into a robotic body. It was dubbed the Robotic Operating Brain, only for computing, or R.O.B. With this machine, he argued, none of their assets could be stolen again. This living supercomputer would be loyal to the organization and make sure intruders wouldn't have the means to survive the encounter they'll have in the building, thus preventing the cause of theft at the source. Tarleton immediately volunteered for the experiment. He didn't fully understand what was going on at the time. All he knew was that one minute he was hooked up to a machine, and the next he awoke in a robotic body. And then, suddenly, he did understand. While the body was now different, and the mind was now an artificial reconstruction, the traits that Dr. Tarleton had was still there, especially his massive ego. However, with this newfound power at his metaphorical fingertips, for he didn't even have arms, he took this better than everyone else attitude to an extreme by killing Professor Hector and assuming the title, the scientific minister of Femaine. After this betrayal against the highest positioned member of the group, R.O.B changed the C in his acronym to a K, which now stands for killing. While these changes were terrible, the main objectives of the project were successful. His consciousness had been transferred and his now mechanical mind is running at peak efficiency. He gained a vast capacity for knowledge, one that he now set on villainous plots. That was not the only feature that was functional, as he now had access to the ability to shoot lasers out of his eyes. While this body was beneficial, it was not without its downsides. His new vessel was bulky and impossible to move in. To rectify this, he constructed a mobile transport vehicle known as the gyro chair. This was a levitating device he could insert himself into. This seat had a pair of robotic arms that could be controlled remotely, with controls in the seat itself. Controls are mentally linked, meaning he doesn't have to lift a finger, which is good because that is a feature he doesn't have. You know, it's ironic, honestly, because the organization's acronym has the word arms in it, but they created something without arms. He built up the defenses of the organization, increasing it tenfold. He did not hire new employees that he couldn't easily replace. So he built an army of robots to help him in his plans. There are still certain cases in which humans are necessary, such as extensive research, infiltration, reconnaissance, and espionage. Their exploits will be explored in one story, but it will be a while before we touch on their most important undercover tale of intervention. Until then, we are left with a madman who is ready to strike with his vast army and resources. A new challenger appears to the heroes of the world, presenting a new obstacle. Such complicated machinations brought by R.O.B are presumed to be foolproof, but you know what they say, pride comes before the fall. This has been true to other villains, and it is true here, even if it is technically artificial pride. And that is where we will leave our tale. I hope you have enjoyed. Until next time, we will be covering heroes that you are all familiar with, to some extent, especially now. Like I said, given the fact that they have once again risen to prominence. Let's hope this outing is a lot more fruitful than the others. Until next time, goodbye.
Well, that was definitely something. An unexpected little mashup there. Though it is definitely better than the MCU's, I'll tell you what. Hey, I did the joke, I made fun of Quantumania, haha, now I'm numb to it, so it didn't really affect me. So, this joke was only made to relate to people. So, now, on to the design notes. All the colors are from R.O.B, different versions of him. Yeah. Surprisingly, that's all I have to say for this. So, yeah, that was a short video, wasn't it? I mean, I can't really extend the runtime more. I hope you enjoyed that video game nerd bit, because, you know, I'm not gonna curse anymore on this channel. I'm pretty cursed out at the moment. So, hope you enjoyed that video. It was short, it was sweet, I knew it complete. Until next time. The next time will be a new set of characters. I already hinted at who they might be during the video. Can you guess who they are? Maybe you can leave a comment down below. Maybe. Until next time, bye. You're watching NYN, New York, now. An interesting scene this morning as an alien attack has occurred in New York. No one is entirely sure why, but the same alien has attacked again and again. His name is Bowser, and all we can surmise from his motives is that he wants some sort of power. What this is, we can only speculate. This is not the first time they took on a powerful villain. In fact, this week alone, they've taken on the likes of the powerful Egg Mandarin and the villainous AI, known as Metaltron. The particulars of this story will be relevant in a bit, as in the following weeks, the Avenging Fighters plan on announcing something relating to the heist of the perfect body Metaltron was planning. What this could mean, no one is quite sure, for the possibilities seem to be endless. Now turning on to more lighter news, the Nibble-Advarian government has initiated its space program. After the discovery of the Earth-like planet known as Spia, the Nibble-Advarian government is planning on an expedition to that planet, using various alien technologies. The specifics of the plan are currently unknown. The ones invited to the country are from New York themselves. This includes a duo of scientists turned lovers, one of their brothers, and a friend. How they will impact this flight is currently unknown, but one thing is for sure, it is going to be quite an exciting time.